If you only knew how many times I've attempted to start this video today, it better be the best thing yet. So, welcome. Welcome to another sit-down video with you and me. Ladies, gentlemen, have you ever wondered, am I dating the wrong person? I know. How could I dare be saying that right now? You might be in what seems to be the picture perfect dating relationship, right? From the outside looking in, you have everything a girl could ever want, dream, or imagine. And yet, you find yourself overthinking constantly, wondering, is this really the person I should be with? Am I really fulfilled in this relationship? Oh, girl. I've been there. I have been there. It's like your mind immediately has gone into overdrive and you are overthinking everything. It can almost feel so daunting to even attempt to date anybody because you spend so much of your time and energy trying to figure it all out. But today, I actually want to encourage you to pause before you make any drastic decisions to end your relationship or to not go out on the second date, to take a moment and consider these 3 tips that might actually not just keep you in a relationship that you don't want to be in, but will actually be the key to enjoying the person and season and experience that is offered in the relationship that you are in. I want to put out the general disclaimer that these 3 tips are general statements. Each emotion and each relationship has its own dynamic. Often our emotions are key indicators for something that's going on inside of us. But sometimes it's not our emotions that are leading the direction of our life. It's actually the thoughts that we are having that are leading to an emotion that dictate our life. We have to be really in tune and in touch with what is actually real and what is actually fear, worry, anxiety, our own insecurities and vulnerabilities. So today, these 3 tips are not to keep you locked into a relationship that you shouldn't be in, but are actually tips for how to enjoy the process of dating, regardless if this person ends up being the person that you'll be with forever, or if the relationship fizzles out. So ladies, gentlemen, all my overthinkers, join me as we dive into 3 tips to help you to stop overthinking and just date them. Here's the deal. Sometimes we actually work ourselves up and into a place in our mind that takes us away from the very thing that is in front of us, that distracts us. So here's tip number 1. If you are spending more time trying to define the relationship, trying to figure out if this thing is going to lead to anything else, if there's going to be a future with this person, if this person checks off all those little details on your list, I want to encourage you to ask yourself, when you find your mind going to this place, or you find yourself where you are initiating a conversation once again to figure out, is this person my boyfriend, my girlfriend? Are we leading towards marriage? Are we gonna have a second date? To ask yourself, am I present right now? Am I enjoying what is in front of me? Or am I in a spot where I can't even enjoy the moment that is occurring because I'm so worried about the future? Because I'm so concerned that if this isn't unto marriage commitment, then I'm done. The relationships in our life have the ability to mold us, shape us, refine us, to turn us into a better person if we allow them to. But if we're so focused on the potential of what and where and when is this relationship leading to where I think it should go, we will lose out on the very thing and the very gift that the relationship is in our life. Just enjoy the present. Just enjoy what this relationship has to offer you in the moment. It will become very clear eventually if this relationship shouldn't lead to anything. Sit back, relax. My girl, just date him. Just allow yourself to date him. Tip number 2, catch the what ifs before they come raining down. Have you ever found yourself in a relationship, in a scenario, on a date where you begin to wonder, What if? What if they dump me tomorrow? What if they don't text me after this date? What if I'm too much? What if they're not what I think they are? Oh my goodness. You've spent so much more time worrying about the things that are not even happening in the moment. You can't even take in what is in front of you. See, when we go to worry land, we can't actually be logical and reasonable in the moment. Because when our stressors come up in our mind, we're not actually thinking the same way we would if we were relaxed. If we are allowing ourselves to enjoy the process. See, if you leave a date and all you can think about is, what if he disagreed with what I said? What if he isn't gonna call me tomorrow? You're trying to control the situation. And when we try to control, we actually restrict and suffocate the very thing that is potentially good in front of us. But if we allow ourselves to lean back and let the process unfold in front of us within reason, I'm not talking about extremes, you'll actually be able to enjoy a greater amount of the person, of the experience that you're having together if you just take a deep breath, let it unfold, relax, lean back. Don't try to suffocate. Don't try to control. Don't try to make things and force things to happen. I know that you think, because I've been in the same spot, that it's going to lead to a result that leads to safety, that leads to greater joy and peace. But often the relationships in our life that we enforce, control, and restrict are often the relationships that we don't get to enjoy to their fullest. But because we're constantly trying to force an outcome. But if they can feel your force, if they can feel any sort of sense of control or manipulation, it's going to be disheartening. And that would be concerning for any relationship, regardless of how close you are. The truth is, you have control over your mind. You can choose to believe the best could come from the situation you are in, the relationship that you were in, the date that you had, or you can choose to believe the worst will come from it. It's a choice. What you meditate on, what you think about, what you are constantly ruminating on, that is a choice that you have. So, do you want to think about the best? About things that are peaceful, joyful, or do you want to think about things that are hard, painful, difficult? It's up to you what you want to think about. Okay, tip number 3, write a list of things that you know are true about you. Because often when we go to overthinking, our minds go to a place that isn't actually real. It begins to foreshadow things that will never happen. Because the reality is, oftentimes the things that we worry and are concerned about the most never actually happen. It's actually so important that we reel it all back in and bring our minds back to what we know is true. And here's the truth. You might not actually believe in your heart these things that you know to be true, but sometimes we have to bring our mind back to them over and over and over again until it's more normal to think about the things that we know are true than the things that we fear and worry about. I want to encourage you to repeat them in your mind until they become more common than the overthinking thoughts. The things that feel easy to ruminate on that are not true. And now this isn't to say to not get good feedback in your life. I think sometimes we need healthy feedback. We need to know if we're too passive or if we're too much or if we're too loud or if we're too dominating. We need to know these things. I would encourage you to ask people in your life that you really trust. Not the person that you're necessarily just freshly dating, but somebody in your life that has known you for a long time. Ask them for honest feedback about how they experience you. If you're really unsure about how you show up in a space, maybe even ask them for things that they know are true about you if you're having a hard time finding what that is for you. It's so important that we take control of our thoughts, that we don't overthink. Because the reality is, you might very well be dating somebody that you should be dating, but you might not be able to see it because you're so caught up overthinking every aspect of the relationship. And what if you just paused and tried to figure out, do I enjoy being with this person? Are they fun to be around? Do I like being in their presence? Those are the first things we should be trying to figure out, not going down all the paths that our minds possibly could go down. So ladies, gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed this video. If it benefited you in any way, will you give it a little like and let me know in the comments below? And if you want more videos where we talk about the realness of relationships and what it looks like to step in the fullness of our God-given design as women, then click subscribe. And like always, you guys, have a beautiful rest of your week. I will see you all next time.